Welcome to the world's first, largest, and only Dance Talk radio show. I'm your host, Birdie Tolar. This is the only show that's all about taking down the slave box. I'm that crazy, fundamentalist, extremist, hypomaniac guy who hates TV, as you like to call me. I'm the guy that you like to tell I'm ruining my children's childhood because I decided that they won't watch 30,000 hours of the slave box by the age 30. So, let me tell you about this article from The Extremists. Although, let me remind you before I read it, I did not write this. I did not make it. I did not bring this into existence. For any of you that frequently listen, I know you want this show to be about someone other than Disney, but who's in the news again? No one other than your friend Disney. So let me take you to this article. It's titled, Disney Encourages Kids to Play Games in the Theater During The Little Mermaid. It starts off, the movie theater is one of the few remaining sanctums where you're largely safe from the annoying glow of smartphones and tablets. Well, at least until Disney re-releases The Little Mermaid on September 13th. The studio is actively encouraging kids to bring along iPads and play games while the movie is showing on screen. I'm doing my best to hold out my commentary and just get through this. It's really quick, I promise. And if you listen, you already know what I want to say. You know, I'm just going to get into this and how they're calling you double slaves. See, I only called you a slave once when you're watching a slave box, but they just came out and said, you know, we can take these people lower because it's always about how low they can take you. We can make them double slaves. Not only are we going to put them in front of the slave box, not only are we going to put them in front of the slave screen, we're going to give them a slave pad to watch with the slave screen. Let me continue with this article. It says, specifically, they're inviting you to be a part of Ariel's world with their own app, Disney Second Screen Live, designed to let viewers interact with the film. It's essentially a kid-friendly blend of Rocky Horror Picture Show, karaoke, and video games. The app will lead sing-alongs with the film soundtrack, games based on events in the film, behind-the-scenes information, and a competitive element played against fellow theater-goers. The app is free, but perhaps due to Disney's close relationship with Apple, Android tablets are not supported. Disney is rolling it out slowly. Only 16 theaters nationwide will take part in the Second Screen Live experiment, but it's still a radical departure from most theater policies, which urge viewers to silence or turn off their mobile devices before a film starts, since the bright light from the screens is particularly distracting in a darkened theater. Film bluffs are obviously not thrilled by the idea. Slash Film derisively calls it a second screen indoctrination tool for young children. I didn't write that. Let me read that again. Slash Film derisively calls it a second screen indoctrination tool for young children. There's some extremists. Slash Films are definitely extremists. They're fundamentalists. They're maniacs because they are calling this an indoctrination tool, which is what I've been saying for a long time. So they must be some kind of fundamentalist extremist because that's what you like to call me. That's what you like to say. I just want to keep making that sound with you because anytime anyone talks about your friend TV and the slave box, the slave screen, the slave pad, then you have to call them a name. You've got to start saying, you're going to ruin your children's lives. Where's some evidence? And you start asking for evidence on the contrary. But never do you ask for it in favor of TV. But anytime your friend TV gets attacked, you start asking for evidence. Where's the evidence that kids who don't watch TV are better off? But you never ask for evidence that kids who watch TV are better off. Why is that? I've got to go back and read this one more time. Film buffs are obviously not thrilled by the idea. Slash Film derisively calls it a second screen indoctrination tool for young children. Imagine a theater full of children with everyone looking down at a bright screen instead of watching the movie, writes PAR editor Ben Kuchera. Let's hope that the app is silent or you'll be dealing with hundreds of speakers all playing music with different timing or at different volumes. Hellish, end quote. I don't know if I need to finish the last two paragraphs. I don't know. Because some of you get this by now. Some of you get where this is going. When there are organizations that week after week come out and just say, hey, this is a tool of indoctrinating your children. Now they're giving you, they know that they can make you double slaves. What's the future? I never even considered this. This is my first time reading about it. I literally found this article about 10 minutes ago. And right away, I knew that this is what we had to talk about today. Because I never considered the idea that they could turn you into double slaves. And now, after reading this, I know that they're going to make you triple, quadruple slaves. Go to a movie theater, you need the iPad, the eye shoe, and the eye bracelet to participate in this movie. You're like, I don't even have time to watch the movie. You've got to, you know, what's going to be in the future. It's going to be, you're going to be an exponential slave. In order to watch a movie, you're going to have to go there with one iPad, plus a friend, plus that friend is going to have the eye shoe, and you're going to have to go with a child, presumably your child, and that child is going to have the eye headband, and the 3 or 4 of you are going to have to sit down, and no one can focus on each other or the movie, and everyone just has to be distracted by something. Double slaves. Quadruple slaves. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say because you fall for it every time. Every time, they keep taking you lower. They keep saying that now we've taken away their attention span so much that we know that people, when they go to a movie, they don't actually want to see the movie. They want to play a game. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out offering them a free game. Then we're going to eventually charge them for it and make it an additional service. Then they're going to pay for the movie. Then they'll pay for the game and they'll be distracted by both. So we'll offer them a third bonus, triple slave. You see, I'm a part-time teacher here. And I try my best not to talk about the slave box. Because anytime I have to talk about it, I know where the conversation is going. I already know what's going to happen. And tonight, in class, trying to get students to talk. No one wants to talk. Said, let's go around the room. Each person is going to say something. First person, I just want you to say something. Kid says something silly. Karate. I said, what do you mean? You know, the word karate. I said, yes, I know the word, but I want you to say something. Say something meaningful. Well, you said just say something. I'm like, all right, next. I can't talk to you. Next. Who's the next person? Who wants to say something? Bluefish. I'm like, hey, you shouldn't be listening to that first person. I said, this is not what I want. I said, when I say, let's say something new, I want you to say something recent. Maybe you've been thinking about something, some plans, something's happening in your life. Someone told you something you're planning to do. Tell me something interesting. And then I gave them an example. I said, okay, for example, fractured my foot, got better, so recently I've been exercising again. And then 2 people said something, and the third person just said, okay, Bertie, I don't have anything to say, but I heard that you're having a child. I said, yes. She said, well, tell me about the name. And so I told her the name that we're planning. And from there, it just went on to this huge conversation about children. And later, as you can expect, I started saying that what I find to be the hardest thing is not to follow the crowd. Because every week, Every week, without fail, every week, someone's just saying, you hate your children. You're a bad father. You're going to kill those kids. You're such a bad person. You're so bad. Only because I'm thinking about better ways to live this life. And one of the things I said, my children, because I'm serious. I'm not here just talking. I said, I don't have a slave box in my home. Although I said TV because they don't understand what a slave box is, just like you. Many of you, you don't know what a slave box is. You're like, huh? A slave box? What is that? Like, all right. Let me go back and break it down. What is a slave box? A slave box is a tool that's going to indoctrinate you into their beliefs, and it'll never give you anything. It's a black hole. It'll just suck away generations of your time, of your family. It's going to take away your ability to think for yourself, to reject ideas that are not made popular. It's going to take away your ability to follow your dreams, to realize your dreams, to have hobbies, to interact in life, to be a member of society. This is a slave box. So I said, I'm not all talk. I'm having a child next month. My children will not be watching the slave box. 1, I don't have the slave box. 2, we don't have the slave box in this home. 3, for those of you with children that are watching the slave box, my children will not be hanging out with yours. And I said, I'm not all talk. Just sitting here in front of you trying to seem cool. Because I already know you don't think this is cool. Because what did they do? Sure enough, they're just like, oh, you're such a bad person. Just like you say to me every time. Some extremist. You don't want to give your kids a slave box. And then you're like, I don't know what's wrong with my son. He just loves the iPad so much and I can't get him to do anything else. And he wants to go to sleep with it. And every day if I don't give it to him, he'll just cry. And I'm like, why did you give him the slave pad then? Well, because I thought it was okay. Well, why would you do it? Everyone does it. Well, why did you do it? Because everyone does it. All right. So I said that I'm not doing this. I'm not giving my kids a slave box. But for some reason you want to. And then they know that they can take you lower. They know that they can call you in to pay for a movie. Now, they don't even plan on your kids having enough attention span to actually watch the movie. Because they've already given your kids these slave pads and the slave boxes. Now they know that your kids don't have enough attention span to watch either one. So they're like, all right, I guess they're double slaves already. Let's just make them double slaves. And they'll watch 2 or 3 and play with 3. Now you've got to go to a movie, which you won't watch. And then you're going to play with the iPad halfway through the movie. And then the other third of the movie, you'll play with the iPhone 17. Then you touch your eye sneakers. Go to the bathroom, and then in the bathroom, there's like some eye tissue, and you just play around with it, and no one has any focus. Then your community rots, and you're like, the government should do something about these little poor kids that I keep having to step over on my way to the movies. Out in front of the movie theater begging. See, this is what I can't stand about you slaves. I really cannot stand that my children will have to live in the world with yours. I cannot stand it. Why is it that you get to be lazy? You get to sit your children down in front of the slave box. You don't have to promise anything to society. You don't promise anything to yourself. You don't promise anything to your children. Then when they grow up to be little young hoodlums, trying to rob my children, rape my children, speaking profanely to my children, then I've got to come sort it all out. And then you want to say, he's just an extremist. He doesn't want his children watching Disney and these little women shaking that stuff and getting some. And I keep telling you about your friend Disney, but you love it anyway. You love it anyway. You don't even care that every movie that they have with a female character, the only way she can get out of it is through her looks. It's never through her intellect. It's never through her brain. It's always through her physical body. It's through her sexual appearance. It's through her sexual appeal. You don't care about that. You're just like, I love Disney. You're strange. You don't like Disney. I'm like, why are you so fascinated with all these single parents walking around? And then you've got single families everywhere all throughout your community. My grandmother had 10 children. One died early. One, they're married. 8 divorced. And everyone's just like, yeah, we love Disney. What do you need to show your kids more divorces for? You don't have enough in your family? You don't have enough when you wake up. You don't have enough when you go to church. You don't have enough when you walk outside. You don't have enough when you go to the mall. You don't have enough at the PTA conferences. You don't have enough looking in the mirror. You don't have enough. You're never satisfied. And Disney knows this. They know that they're going to make you double slaves. Because they know that you can go lower. They know that they don't plan on your children being active people. They're like, oh, these weak little slaves. I'm going to make them double slaves.
Poo on everything. Poo.
Hi, this is Bertie Tolar, the man who's going to take down TV / the slave box. People often ask me if I don't watch TV or movies, what do I do with my free time? Well, when I'm not working on art or this show, I love writing. Please go to Amazon and get my latest book, Poo on Everything. It's literally as good as the title sounds. For a mere $10, this illustrated, high-quality adult fiction book can let you see me at my greatest and pooiest. Poo on Everything by Dr. Birdie.
Poo on everything. Poo.
I'm going to go to the movie theater with an iPad. Because already I can't stop texting. Someone sent me a message. Pew! Gotta send it back during the movie theater. See, I'm only highlighting the slave box because it's one of the largest forms of media. I said this about myself. I'm a manga fan. I love reading manga. I love to read manga. I read Naruto, Bleach, One Piece every week. Probably takes me between 1 to 2 hours a week. And one day I was talking about the slave box and how destructive it is and how it just sucks up all our time. Problems need solutions. Solutions need time, but you have no time because you're sitting in front of the slave box. And someone said, so what are your hobbies? And then I told them about my hobbies, my art, radio show, books, then growing this cake business and doing some other things. And then I said, yeah, you know what? I also read manga. And they're like, ha, caught you. Caught you. Said, don't you think that's a waste of time? I said, well, technically it's not so different from TV. They said, so why are you talking so bad about TV? I said, the only reason I'm talking so bad about TV is because this is where the war is happening. This is the battlefield. I've got to go to the battlefield because this is where the masses are. You know, it's just like there are some people that like to kick a bottle down the street. Literally, kick a bottle down the street. And that's how they'll waste time. They'll sit there for 20 minutes kicking a bottle down the street. But that's not where the masses are. You don't just have millions of people going home after work kicking a bottle down the street. You have millions of people going home watching a DVD, letting their souls and their brains and their minds and their eyes and their thoughts be sucked in by the slave box. So why would I waste my time talking about that one person who's wasting their time kicking a bottle down the street? I said, I've got to get on the battlefield. This is where it is. I said, you're right. I do read manga. But if millions of people went home every day and wasted hour after hour after hour reading manga, nonstop, compulsively, addicted, then I would be saying the same things that I'm saying now about the slave box. But you don't have that. You don't have millions of people just going home, kicking a bottle. Hey, this water bottle's empty. Let me just kick it back and forth with you, honey. You've never done that. What did you do? You went home and you watched the slave box. You're like, oh, a Game of Thrones, it's a new season. A Breaking Bad, it's a new season. Or Friends, now it's on Netflix. We can watch seasons 1 through 9 over the next 9 days, 10 hours a day. I've got the week off. Okay, I'm unemployed. Let me do that. Let me watch the History Channel. Learn up some fake history. That's what you slaves do. So that's what I'm talking about. Why am I going to sit down and talk about something that very few people do? But you're so focused on trying to win this argument. That's all you want to do. That's all you care about. You could care less about your children. You're so selfish that all you want to do is make me look stupid. That's really all you want to do. It's like this debate that I listened to, I think it was earlier this year. I listened to this big Google debate, I believe it was, about the N-word, about the word nigger. And you had all these speakers on there, and I remember Jesse Jackson was on there, and Michael Eric Dyson, and all these guys, and everyone wants to have this debate. Is it right or wrong? Can we use the word nigger? Can we say it? And can we say it? And we can control it, and we can take the power back. And people are like, it's destructive, and this and that. And they had this big debate about this word, and no one ever considered all the people for it. You know, Michael Eric Dyson, I don't know if you've heard of this guy or if you listen to him speak. He's a very, I was about to say intelligent. Let me say it like this. He has a way with words. He can be very convincing. And the thing is, I'll admit, if you sat me down in front of him and put me on television for a debate, I would lose it. I would definitely lose it. I would lose it hands down. He has a way with words. He's very convincing. And there were many intelligent people in there. But no one ever thought about, what does it mean to win this debate? Why do you want to win it? See, it's cool to try to outsmart me. It's cool to get over on me, to make me look stupid. Just like he was able to do with the people that are like, no, we've got to start looking at other ways to express ourselves. And all the reasons they brought, and why this word was destructive. And he had valid points. Michael Eric Dyson, he came with his valid points, but most people who watched the debate, they never thought about, what's the danger in him winning this debate? You see, he's very convincing. But now, once he wins the debate for you, and you say, hey, it's okay. I liked how he said it. Now, I'm going to continue down this path. See, you win the fight, but you lose the war. And that's what you don't understand. Everyone's just focused on trying to make me sound stupid. And you're not worried about your children. You don't care about your children. I know that. I know that already. You don't care about your children. You don't care about your grandchildren. You don't care about any of these kids. You don't care if they're going to be able to actually reproduce. You don't care about that. You don't care about any of them. All you're focused on is your little selfish games. We're going to make him look stupid because he's talking about our friend TV. But you don't care. All I'm talking about is how you could use your time better. Look at your communities. How are your communities rotting? Look at that. You've got parts of Chicago that are literally the equivalent of a third world country. People are like, I'm not going to Africa. Third world country, dangerous down. You can go to Chicago. You just go to the west side of Chicago. No one wants to talk about that. Everyone's just like, shut up, Bertie. Shut up, you extremist. You want to make me look stupid. I already know what's going to happen when I go back. Because when I go back, I'm ready. I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be where the people are, speaking to them. And I already know what's going to happen. There's going to be someone who doesn't like what I'm going to say. Like one of my cousins. Think about this. I'll tell you this story. I had this cousin a couple years ago. And I gave some family members some thongs as gifts. And he thought that was really disrespectful. He's like, I'm a big man. And, I was scared at the time. I'm thinking back on it. At least I think I was scared. As I remember it, I was scared. This guy, he's bigger than me, definitely stronger. He's like, hey, I'm gonna mess you up. Don't you do anything disrespectful like that to my mother, our elders, young buck. I'm gonna lay you down on the ground. And so that's how all of you slaves are. That's what you'll do. I already know that's going to happen. When I get back to Chicago, some of you won't like what I'm going to say. Because I'm going to be out there where the masses are, where the people are, and you're going to be like, shut up. But I'm not ready to shut up. Lay down. I'm not ready to lay down. Sit down. Get back. And I'm not ready to get back. And you'll say, well, I'm going to lay you down. I'm going to put you down. I'm going to show you how strong I am. And then you're going to come because you're stronger than me. You're going to come with your weapons. You're going to come with your muscle. You're going to come with your guns. You're going to come with violence to lay me on the ground. But you're so weak. And I was thinking about that. All of you are weak. Because you're the same people that when I say something you don't like, when I'm saying, hey, stop putting all of your time into this black hole. Problems need solutions. Solutions need time. Look at this city. Look at Chicago. Look at Detroit. Look at our home. Look at what's happening. We need time to solve these problems. You're like, shut up. Stop talking. If you don't stop talking, I'm going to make you stop talking. And then you're going to come ready to fight me. But you're the same cowards that when kids are going homeless in your neighborhood, when they're out there on drugs, when they don't have teachers, when they're closing your schools, you're the same cowards that can't do anything. All you can do is come tell me, shut up, stop talking, Birdie. I'm going to make you stop talking. Like my cousin wanted to knock me out, the little coward. And I'm not mad at him. I'm mad at a generation that did not raise better men, that would raise cowards like this. So all they can do is come knock someone out. All they can do is get mad at little men, but they can't get mad at bureaucrats when they come close your schools. They can't get mad at CEOs when they've already decided that they won't be giving your children jobs. They can't get mad at institutions, organizations that already decided that these people will be thrown away. All you can do is you come to me, little cowards, I'm going to make you shut up. And all you other cowards support it. Then you're like, oh yeah, he was a big man. Birdie was so small. He got knocked out. Look at him. He's on the ground. I bet he'll stop talking now. Ha ha ha. I won. I won the war. And you don't understand. You lost the war. You won the fight. Because you're like, ha ha ha. Birdie's on the ground. Now these kids can continue rotting. All I'm saying was that we need to care about these kids. All I'm saying is that I'm not happy seeing my brothers like that. All I'm saying is that I'm not satisfied. All I'm saying is that these kids need fathers. All I'm saying is we've got to find the reason. What's the reason for all these broken families? But you're like, shut up. I'm going to make you stop talking. Boom. Boom, 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 boom in your face. And then all you other cowards are going to crowd around, help them, stomp me to the ground. Just like all you cowards did when they shot down Malcolm X. What did you do? Nothing.
Poo on everything. Poo.
Hi, this is Birdie Tolar, the man who's going to take down TV / the slave box. People often ask me if I don't watch TV or movies, what do I do with my free time? Well, when I'm not working on art or this show, I love writing. Please go to Amazon and get my latest book, Poo on Everything. It's literally as good as the title sounds. For a mere $10, this illustrated, high-quality adult fiction book can let you see me at my greatest and pooiest. Poo on Everything by Dr. Birdie.
Poo on everything. Poo.
Sissies and cowards. Sissies and cowards. That's what we're surrounded by. And my children have to grow up with your children. My children have a father who loves humanity, who cares about you. And what do you care about? You care about looking good. You care about making me shut up. You care about, I don't like what he said, so I'm going to make him sit down. Because I'm a big man. I'm a big man who can make another man sit down. And that's all it is to you. See, I already know what my future will be. Because I already know what kind of cowards I'm dealing with. That's what they want to do. They want me to sit down and shut up. And if I don't shut up, they're going to come make me shut up. And all of you cowards watching will just be bystanders. The few of you that know what I'm saying and understand what I'm saying will just say, hey, he's right. But now I'm scared of that one guy. I'm scared of that one guy because he's stronger than us. And look, Birdie just got beat down. So why should I take a chance? Because I know the results already. Such cowards. I really do understand that quote. A coward dies 1,000 deaths. A real man dies but one. Because you're the same people. It's so disappointing. You're the same people that let Malcolm X get shot and did nothing. And that just happens coincidentally to be around the time that the slave box was developing. Because they know, and this is what I always say, if you want to know your future, you look at Black America right now. If you're white, this is why white people should listen to my show. Because if you want to know your future, look at Black people right now. If you're Asian, if you want to know your future, look at Black people right now. If you're Latino, if you want to know your future, look at Black people right now. If you're Middle Eastern, if you want to know your future, look at Black Americans right now. If you're South American, Latin American, if you want to know your future, look at blacks right now. If you're European, you already know what's happening. Because you're in the midst of it. Because they know that they can take you lower. They know that once you give people the slave box, you can do almost anything to them through incrementalization. Because they know all they have to do is keep you entertained. All they have to do is keep you entertained. Look at all the black idiots that love Disney. They love Disney. I remember being 6 years old. Not 6 years old, okay? I'm exaggerating there. Sorry. I remember being probably about 12, 13 years old. And my parents and different people complaining, why doesn't Disney make some black movies? 14 years old. Why doesn't Disney make some black movies? 15 years old. Why doesn't Disney make some black movies? They don't care about black people. 16 years old. Why doesn't Disney make some black movies? They don't care about black people. 17 years old. Why doesn't Disney make some black movies? They don't care about black people. 18 years old. Why doesn't Disney make some black movies? They don't care about people. Black people. 19, 20, 21. They don't care about black people. Disney. They always do this. 22. They don't care about us. 23. They don't care about us. Disney. They don't like us. 24. They don't care about us. 25. They don't care about us. 26. They don't care about us. Then finally, Obama style, right? Obama came into presidency. They made that Disney movie. And then you just had all these black idiots when I went home one year, like talking to people, go to what's the store? Family Depot, Home Depot. Talking with people, all these just out in the city talking with people. They're like, Obama's president? How do you feel? Ooh, and we've got this Disney movie and we love this. And like, what? This is the same group that's just been insulting you for decades. For decades. For decades, they've been insulting you to your face. And right away, they give you a crumb. And what do? You go scurry. You go grovel. We love Disney. Oh, Disney, you gave us a black movie. Oh, we love you. You've been so magnificent. We love you, Disney. We love you. We love you, Disney. And then they reeled you in again. So now you're going to spend the next 20 years unraveling yourself from Disney. Because now they've convinced you again that they're your friend. And that's why I get so disappointed. Because you would literally think, if there were one group of people that would be against the slave box more than others, you would literally think it's blacks. You would have to assume it would be them first. And I said them because I'm saying them because I like to separate myself. And I got into this big argument before with a black girl. But I do like to separate myself. Because when I speak to other black people, I like to say that I'm a real black man. I do it. I don't care. I like to say that I'm a real black person. Because you imposters, in my heart, you will not bear the name black. I'll give you a title, but there's going to be a distinction. Because you and me, you don't deserve that honor. You don't have pure black blood. You don't have pure African blood flowing through you. You're too weak. You're too weak. You're too submissive. You don't have any courage anymore. You sissies and cowards will not be the same black as me. See, I've got this real blood flowing through me. I'm not one of those slaves that's going to go grovel under Disney. So if we fill out a survey, of course, you get to be black. But when you hear me speaking, sometimes you'll hear me say them. But it's not because I'm not saying I'm not black. I'm saying you're not black. You're not a real black person. I have the real blood in me. The blood that still has power. The blood of leaders. The blood of greatness. The blood of potential. So you would think that they would be the one group of people who would just say, hey, we've been abused so much by these companies, these corporations. We've been ignored for so long. We've been sidestepped. We've been placed on the back burner for so long. We've been made fun of for so long by these same groups, these same organizations, that we will not allow it to happen again. But what did they do? What did they do? Slaves. Just like slaves of all colors now. They accept Disney. They accept them every time. Look at all the white slaves. They're like, Hannah Montana, Hannah Montana, Hannah Montana. And then like, they have that girl, Miley Cyrus, twerking it up. Single parent, single father. Then they're like, oh, yeah, that's cool. She's our friend. We love Disney, too. Yep. We love Disney, too. No one can see any connection. There's never a connection, and I hate that. I hate talking about that. I hate when I'm talking about the slave box, and I'm just like, yeah, it's a slave box. And people are like, how? How? You want me to go through it's like going through the history of the world in 7 seconds. And what do you want me to say? I mean, you want me to talk about how it's sucking up your time, or how it's teaching your children and teaching you that the only way to learn is through TV, or how it's teaching you that you have to sit in front of this box every day, or how it's teaching you that it's not correct to disagree with it, or how the only way you can have fun is by doing something which has already been presented to you on TV, or the only conversations that you can have are based on TV or should be about TV or how you want where do you want me to start? Where do you want me to start when you're like, it's a slave box, you extremists? I'm just so disappointed. You'll let Disney come and make you Doubleslaves, and you're going to accept it. They're going to put some spin on this, like, yeah, it's so great. They have this new iPad app, and it's so good. It's called multitasking. What do you mean multitasking? Then you've got to go to the movie theater with an iPad and an iPhone, and you watch the movie. You're like, yeah, that's normal. What are you talking about that's normal? How many eyes do you have? 2, so it's normal. I can use 1 to watch the movie screen and 1 for the iPad. Well, since when are you able to focus your eyes in completely different directions? Well, it's normal. Of course I can do 2 things at once. Yeah, I know you can listen to music and you can walk at the same time. But since when are you able to look down at your lap and cut some Disney fruit and look up at the screen? Well, I can do it. How are you going to do that? Well, I can do it. Well, what's wrong with you that you don't have enough attention? What's wrong with you that you can't focus on a simple movie? Of course people can't focus. We're clueless. We're lost. This is bad. Slash Film, they called it a second screen indoctrination tool for young children. I told you long ago that many of the articles that I cover are actually pro-TV. And every article that I cover defeats itself. Because in every article, they know that this is a slave box. And in every article, they always say something like this as a disclaimer. Every positive pro-TV article, it always says something like this near the end. How they call it a second screen indoctrination tool for young children. It always defeats itself. Yet you don't listen. All you do is you ignore it. You ignore it every time. When they came out and they said that it's an indoctrination tool, you're like, I don't care. I don't care, Bertie. You're strange because you don't want your children to watch it. Your children are going to be unhappy. They're going to hate you because they're not indoctrinated. And it's too bad that your children are going to have to interact with my children, because your children are surely going to tell my children that they should hate me. Your children are going to tell my children that they're missing out on something. That they should be watching the slave box. That the slave box is so fun. But you don't understand. It's like giving children cigarettes. They're going to look at the children that don't smoke as strange. They're going to tell the children that don't smoke how cool it is to smoke. They're going to tell them how much they're missing. They're going to try to convince my kids to smoke. And it's all because you lazy, no good, deadbeats, selfish deadbeats gave your children cigarettes in the form of a slave box. And now they're going for double slavery. They're going for double slavery. They know that your kids will not have the attention span to ever do one thing anymore. They know your kids cannot even watch a movie. That's why they're drugging them up, dumbing them down, giving them 2 pads now. Because in the future, they know that your children will not be able to sit still, watch even a movie, focus, They've got to keep taking the entertainment level higher and higher. Keep giving them more and more. It's a little sad. I'm telling you, the only solution is to get rid of your slave box. I never want to bring up problems outside the context of solutions. The only solution for you is to get rid of your slave box. That's your only solution. I have to keep repeating it because sometimes repetition is what you need. You need to hear me tell you this over and over and over again. You have no other options. There is no other way. I don't want to say there is no other way, like any other way is impossible, but most likely for the average person, you're left with very few choices. And believe me, if I really thought there was a better way, I would definitely try it. But you will not see me sitting my children down in front of the slave box. You will not see me dropping my children off at someone's home who has the slave box. You won't see me encouraging my kids to spend time with these slave box children. You won't see me having them sit around kids that love to play the slave pad. Your only solution is to get the slave box out of your home. Get these slave pads out of your home. They're coming for your children. I told you already about TV everywhere. You will not have the time to be free. They won't give you the chance. It's just like cigarettes everywhere. Once you give it to your children, it's too late. They'll have to spend the rest of their life trying to escape it, just like me. Just like me. I always tell you about the slave box, slave music, slave pad. Probably just a week ago. Early in the morning, on my way to work, turned on the music, and my wife was like, "Hey, that's slave music." And I was like, "Hey, you're right." And even though I'm here talking to you about it, sometimes even I slip up. Because it's become such a natural habit that once you give this to your children, then they'll have to spend the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years trying to escape it. Some of your children will be lucky enough to escape it, like me. But most of your children won't be, like you. Get the slave box out of your home. I'm Birdie Tolar. Come dance along next time. I almost forgot to dance along with you from this Dance Talk Radio show. So I'm going to play this song. It's called Dear Mama, I believe. And it's by this little kid named Bentley Green. And it came from this slave box. From this talk show called Ellen. And it's called Dear Mama. This is a little kid rapping. He's rapping. And I just want you to listen to this. This is on Ellen, your friend, who works together with Disney. All of these shows are anti-family. This kid shouldn't have to be singing this song. We really failed these children. We failed them. And then the sad thing is, when this kid grows up without a father, without a family, without a school that actually cares, without people that really care, with a failing community, then when he turns down the wrong path, you'll be so ready to throw him in jail. He's trying to find a little light in the cave. Mama, I gotta thank you every day, 'cause the man you start in your own This is sad.
Life been so rough. You a single mother living on your own. You have to be weak cause you have to be strong. Paying all the bills cause you have to be grown. Long as I'm alive, you will never be alone. Mama, you a queen, it's just me and you. So
And then all you ever do is reach the same conclusion. Because they keep giving you these false debates just like they did with the N-word, the word nigger. They're just like, let's just debate. Should he be singing this song? And so we're going to win the debate but lose the war because we'll never think about what we could be doing with our time to help make sure that there are more fathers in the home for children.
You got to play up in the cry. All the single mamas, throw your hands in the sky. Hey mama, what it do? Gave me the world, this song is for you. You gotta play up in the cry. All the single mamas, throw your hands in the sky. This is for all the single mamas out there. Wave your hands cause you know they're care. This is for all the single mamas out there. Wave your hands cause you know
this is sad.
BG, that kid's something mama telling y'all the single mamas out there. Ay, cause I'm the man of the house.
And what's really sad is that you, after hearing this song, you could care less about this kid. All you care about is going home, turning on a DVD, watching some Breaking Bad, because you've had a long day. You've been at work all day. You worked your 8 hours just like me. But for some reason you think it's okay that I have to come home and do this show, speak with you, like I don't value my free time. Your time is more valuable than me, then all you do is throw it away. And you could care less about this kid. Because every day you see the same thing. You just see people that no one cares about. A generation that no one cares about. A generation headed down the wrong path. This growing wealth gap. Kids with no future. And every day you reach the same conclusion. You just say, well, looking at all of that, I think the best decision would be to just go home and turn on the slave box. Get the slave box out of your home.
Poo on everything. Poo.
Hi, this is Bertie Tolar, the man who's going to take down TV/the slave box. People often ask me if I don't watch TV or movies, what do I do with my free time? Well, when I'm not working on art or this show, I love writing. Please go to Amazon and get my latest book, Poo on Everything. It's literally as good as the title sounds. For a mere $10, this illustrated, high-quality adult fiction book can let you see me at my greatest and pooiest. Poo on Everything by Dr. Birdie.
Poo on everything. Poo.